I'm Denise Olusala, and this is my sister,
Rosie Olusala.
We're the Olusala sisters. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Lit Bible Study with the Olusala sisters. So let's get right into it. We are in the Bible. We're reading the New International Version of the Bible. We're in the Old Testament, first book of the Bible in Genesis, reading chapter 16, verses 1 through 16. It's called Hagar and Ishmael. Let's get into it. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian maidservant named Hagar. So she said to Abram, "The Lord has kept me from having children. Go, sleep with my maidservant. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Abram agreed to what Sarai said. So after Abram had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai his wife took her Egyptian maidservant Hagar and gave her to her husband to be his wife. He slept with Hagar, and she conceived. When she knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. Then Sarai said to Abram, "You are responsible for the wrong I am suffering. I put my servant in your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me." "Your servant is in your hands," Abram said. "Do with her whatever you think best." Then Sarai mistreated Hagar, so she fled from her. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was the spring that is beside the road to Shur. And he said, "Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going?" "I'm running away from my mistress, Sarai," she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, "Go back to your mistress and submit to her." The angel added, "I will so increase your descendants that they will be too numerous to count." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "You are now with child and you will have a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard of your misery. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone and everyone's hand against him, and he will live in hostility towards all his brothers." She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. "You are the God who sees me," for she said, "I have now seen the one who sees me." That is why the well was called Bir Lahai Roi. It is still there between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram gave the name Ishmael to the son she had born. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. All right, so that is the whole part. That's the whole story. Let's get into your thoughts, Rosie.
Let me check my notes. Okay, so Hagar, they were really made sure they told us she was an Egyptian maidservant. All I heard was slave.
Yeah.
To Sarai. What was the name again?
Sarai. So we know Sarah and Abraham.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were great people.
Mm-hmm. And then we started reading. So then they're married, right? So we usually know Sarah and Abraham, but that's right after this story. There's the covenant of circumcision. And then, so God makes a covenant makes a covenant with Abraham, and, well, I guess at this time with Abram. And then God says, okay, so now that we're having this covenant, your name's going to be no longer Abram, it's going to be Abraham. And your wife, she's no longer going to be Sarai, she's going to be Sarah. So in this story, though, there's still Abram and Sarai, because they haven't had the covenant of circumcision. And then, that's a different story where, every adult male and relax with the snips. All the men get circumcised to, have this covenant with the Lord. Okay. All right, enough with that. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so Sarai is okay, I can't have kids. Abram, I have a great idea. Mm-hmm. Why don't you take my maidservant, my Egyptian maidservant, and I'll have babies through her. You see, when you said she was a maidservant, I hear slave. So I feel she didn't go to Hagar and say, "Hey, Hagar, now you know I'm having problems giving birth and giving my husband children, which is the one purpose I have in life as per the world I live in right now. And could you do me a favor and bear children for me?"
Be my surrogate.
Yeah, be my surrogate. Have my children with my husband for me, but they're not your kids, they're mine somehow. And then like you continue being a slave. Or maybe we work out a deal. You be just half a slave. I don't know. We'll see. So I feel there wasn't a conversation where you got her consent.
No.
I just feel like, okay, well, I can't have a baby. Ugh, Hagar. Ugh, you know she doesn't do my sheets right anyway. Hagar is gonna, okay, husband, take Hagar, sleep with her, and then she'll give me my babies that I need. So then it says that they were there for like 10 years, and then she gave Hagar, and then it said as a wife. And then I was just like, okay, maybe that's better. So then she's a second wife, which is a higher status than maidservant, which is to me equivalent to slave. But then right after they said she was given as a wife, it says after she became pregnant, she despised Sarai. Hagar, when she got pregnant, she despised Sarai. And then Sarai's like, oh, she's mean to me. Deal with it, Abram. And then he was just like, well, she's your maidservant. You deal with it. And I was just like, I thought she was now your second wife. But no. And then I feel the despising part wasn't like, I am now better than you because I'm bearing Abram a kid. I'm bearing him a baby, so I'm better than you. I feel it was, your husband raped me, and now I'm being forced to have this kid I didn't want. So to me, that's where I feel like the despising is from. Because to me, this whole story is about rape.
Yeah.
And non-consensual. Well, I guess rape was always non-consensual. Rape. It's about rape. Yeah. And then I just don't like it. I'm not for it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, what really gets me, besides the rape, is the fact that Sarai now gets what she wanted, which was, have kids through Hagar. And then now she is upset. You thought of this idea. You presented this. You made this woman get raped. It resulted in a pregnancy, and now you're upset. And so now she treats Hagar badly to the point that Hagar just runs for her life, goes into the desert or wherever she was, and then now a whole angel has to drag her back. And that's just, she was raped and she was running, and then the angel of the Lord said, oh no, go back. And also, let me tell you a little bit about something about the kid that you're going to have. You're going to call him this. He's going to have a hard life. Nobody's going to like him. And then also just, so go back though. And then she's like, okay, I'll go back because God said to go back. And I was just, so I don't care for this whole rape story that is here, and not cool, Abram and Sarai. You guys suck. And okay, what are your thoughts, Denise?
I really struggled reading this one because, like you say, she is a maidservant. So like her position, you said a slave. So her position is just lower, obviously, than the woman of the house. Yeah. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. You could possibly work for somebody and it's fine, and there's respect and whatever it is. It doesn't seem like that's anything that was going on here though. This was a bad situation. So Sarai not being able to have a baby, that sucks. Because she wanted a baby, she didn't get one. Then she comes up with the plan, like you said, and I guess we also have to not like judge because it sucks. Like what?
I'm judging all day, every day.
But it just, like, because she's also going through stuff, I'm sure she's been enduring,
of course,
insults and whatever, lower status because not being able to have a baby. But so now she comes up with this plot. Hagar, I agree, gets raped. And then they say, yes, she's your wife. But then in the next sentence, they're like, maidservant. But, like, if she's the wife, she's no longer the maidservant. Yeah. But it was like, no, you just put a title on it, so...
to make this rape okay.
Yeah. And it's not okay. That shouldn't... And then, like, this whole idea, if she was also your wife, she should be protected. And then to say, like, oh, you do whatever you want with her, Sarai, like, that's not how you should treat a wife. I don't think. So now, what I really struggled with was, so Hagar leaves, and then for the angel of the Lord to say, go back to your mistress and submit to her. And I really struggle with that. I struggle so deeply with that. I really had an issue with God over that line. Like, as I was reading that, I was so surprised. And I was looking at different articles. Like, I was trying to get right with it. Like, how? Because I know God's good all the time. And all the time, God is good. But this ain't good. This is not good. Like, she's in a horrible situation. She's alone. She's unprotected. She's been raped. And then God sends a message of, like, go back. And I just can't get right with it. And so I was reading different articles of, like, I'm trying so hard to get right with this word, this what happened. And honestly, I'm not right with it. I'm not right with it. But as I continue reading, so this is the first book of the Bible. This is Genesis. And you see a lot of funky things and funky decisions that God makes throughout Genesis and the beginning of the Bible, and a lot of harsh rules that have not don't continue into the New Testament. And
thank goodness.
Yeah. So I sort of looked at it like, and I know people might not like that I'm saying this, other Christians might not like it, but I sort of looked at it as like God evolves. So like in the beginning of the Bible, and these like stories that I just cannot get right with, no matter how I try to get right with, like in the beginning, God would get mad all the time. Like, so this isn't a story of God getting mad, but like there would be random times God would get mad and say stuff like, I can't even look at you people. I can't even walk with you. Like one time with the Egyptians, he's with the Jewish people coming out of Egypt, and then like always consistently disobeying God. He's like, I can't even look at you. I'm going to walk ahead of you, because if I walk with you, I might just kill you. Like God said stuff like that. And it's in the Bible. It's in the beginning of the Bible. And that's not the God that I deal with today, but it is. But it's just like, we're dealing with like season 5 God, and like I'm reading season 1, like before the evolution, before God being a dad, like before God like experiencing other things. And I feel like in the beginning this just wasn't it. And I'm not trying to say God was wrong, but me in my human form, I can't get right with this story, and I can't get right with sending a woman back to her rapist and to hostility and to just a nasty situation. I can't get right with it. I can't. So yeah. And then later on, there's like another verse where again, she has to run away because stuff is horrible. So I don't know. I'd love to hear like what other Christians and non-Christians and whatever, because you might be watching this and you're not even a religious person. You're just here for the stories and ha-ha-has and the laughs and the drama.
All the drama.
But I want to know what other people, like how this story sits with them, what it means to them, and what you take away from it as well. So any other final thoughts?
No, I will never get right with that rape story.
It's a two thumbs down story. It's just
I will never be right with this rape. So
I will never be right with it either. Hagar really suffered.
Yeah.
And I
want
to know more about her story and like what happens to her. Like, yes, we know through like Ishmael, like a lineage comes and all that, but Hagar, like,
suffered.
Were you okay? Like,
and then probably her child suffered.
Yeah. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone and everyone's hand against him. No, run that back, angel. Tell me again about my kid. Run it back. Give me a better one. I want a different fortune. No.
And then just the whole, then as she's a rape victim who's now forced to raise the product of that rape. So that also is another added layer that is just unacceptable.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on there.
A lot.
Don't care for it. Unacceptable.
It's a boo. It's a boo.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Lit Bible Study with the Olusala Sisters. Be blessed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.